This now, the rising cost of living has seen the increase of co-living spaces or community living. In fact, that's according to real estate agency Hugh Giffen Sotheby's International Realty. It says many millennials are seeking more affordable housing options. In fact, CEO Yael Giffen joins us now in studio to discuss this. A very good morning, Yael, and thank you so much for making the time. Where is this trend stemming from in real time in 2023?
So if you think about what happened during COVID in terms of co-working situations, it's only normal that the same happened with co-living situations from an affordability point of view.
Sure.
And a social point of view. So if you think about friends in the olden days, young people, especially millennials or digital nomads, they want to have a base, but without the commitment. You know, I love to call our millennials boundless.
Right.
So without the long-term leases and something more flexible so that they can go and come as they please. And security. If you're in one space, you get the security aspect, you get facilities like gyms, you pay less for more. So that's why it's a big trend, and we're only at the beginning of the trend, and we're really going to see it spike.
Is it becoming a lot more popular to find yourself in a more communal living environment as opposed to renting a place on your own and then having to perhaps put just a friend there or family because that could be costly as well?
I think the younger generation really goes for this co-living space. Not just the younger generation. So I'm a single mom.
Okay.
And there's a new trend as well called mommunes.
Right.
Mommunes. So it's moms all living together with their children in a community situation as well. You have your rooms, your own bedrooms, as well as shared living spaces. But I think people are just wanting to be more social, more exposed, and have more help and share resources. So yeah, it's on the rise, and I think we're going to see more of it. When I lived in New York City, I lived there for 4 years, and I had constant roommates, and they become your family.
Right.
At times it can be frustrating sharing a bathroom, but you know, you can have your own bathrooms in these spaces and share communal spaces like a kitchen and a lounge, and then go to yoga class later or go and to the gym. So it's lovely for young people.
Was this brought on perhaps, Yael, by COVID that all of us experienced 3 years ago, where a lot of us were locked in and we found ourselves by ourselves? So to be in the company of others is a lot more comforting, and you find a lot more freedom in as far as just your own mental health and living space, as it were, as opposed to living alone.
Completely. William, you raise a good point. COVID changed a lot. So yes, definitely, I think this rose out of COVID. People were lonely and felt that they craved other human beings around them. We used to live in villages, and there we were isolated. And
Right.
I think that's also what arose out of COVID was the co-working spaces. So it only made sense, you know, after that, people were like, well, I didn't need a whole office. Maybe let's do a shared office. You started looking at your resources and your locations and amending that. So yes, COVID for sure. People want more out of people these days. They want to feel nurtured, they want to feel engaged, and affordability. You know, our economy's taken a big hit. So young generation, millennials in the olden days would have been able to afford to buy their first property by now, but it's
Right.
not the same. You know, our cost of living is high. So if you take those two circumstances into consideration, that's a definite reason why this is trending.
And when we talk about location then, where are these trends propping up? Is it in particular the big metros around South Africa or even elsewhere?
I would say definitely the urban areas, the hip areas, the big metros, unless you're wanting to find some people go and live on a farm and get that kind of isolation farm environment, but those would all be holiday communal properties.
Right.
But yeah, the big metros with access to everything hot that's around, whether it's gyms or their workplaces or transport near the trains.
Sure.
Yeah.
And those amenities are very important, right? The actual cost of it with a rand value, where does that sit, Yael? I mean, what advice do you have for someone wanting to go into a co-living space and wanting to save a buck, as it were?
So how long is a piece of string? Because it depends on your area.
Right.
It depends on what you're looking for. It depends on how long you want to be there, how long the lease agreement is. And also one thing, William, that one also has to consider is conflict resolution. When you're in these spaces, it's all great when everyone's getting on, but you have to have some rules about if there's conflict in the house or the living spaces. I've been there 4 years, New York City, been there, done that. But it's very, the benefits outweigh the risks, and it's a lovely way to live for young people, a very social way to live.